Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to do another body review for a ball jointed doll. This is from the company called Luts, and this is a kid Delf size, and the sculpt is a Yule. So the Delf is an MSD size doll, so it's the middle range size. So let's get to it. So like I said, the sculpt is a Yule, and it is a limited, and it's on, I think they only have one bust size option, I'm not too sure. So the sculpt is quite nice on this. It's a little different from some of the other ones, but just a close-up of the face. So I got this a couple of years ago now, about 4 years ago, and she was meant to be a deer sort of spirit thing. And so the face up is by me, and as you can see it is inspired by a deer. This is the second face up that I gave her, and the eyes are also the default eyes. So the head back comes up with the magnetic system and has the magnets inside the head, and you can see how Lutz has stamped the inside of both the head cap and the inside of the head has the little plaque. So it's held together by an S-hook, so it's not like Fairyland's minifees, which have the lock system. It's just an S-hook, and I need to change the Sculpey putty that are holding the eyes in to some proper eye putty. I just haven't got around to it. So this is the bust size. I'm not too sure if it came in any other bust size, but this is just the stock bust size that this limited doll came with. It has nice range of motion. It's nicely sculpted as well. I really like the belly sculpting. I think it's really nicely sculpted and not too overdone, and it has a nice little pouch sort of thing, which I like. The hip joints aren't as good as the minifee or anything. It's kind of strangely sculpted in my opinion. So it doesn't have like any caps or anything like the minifee does. And it is a little strange in sitting. It's not the best sitter, but it has the mobility joints, which have like a little lock system, which I don't know if you can capture it on there, but it has a little, you can see the little keys inside that click into place when you twist the mobility joint around. So aside from the hip area, I think the legs are really beautifully sculpted as well, but the key system is quite a good feature on the mobility joint. So I really like the way the legs are sculpted and the knees. The knees are pretty stock standard. They have a single peanut that sits in between the thigh and the leg joint. And then we've got the feet here that have a rather large ball socket, and they are held on by a small S-hook. Not a huge range of motion, it's not too bad, but you can see here the knees have that peanut joint system. And this is quite tightly strung, and the little peanuts fit in really tightly to the legs, so you will need to sort of force it out. And it has a little ridge that sits on top of the kneecap, so the peanut can sit in place when you bend the knee, as you can see here. And the peanut comes out quite far, so you can get the knee over quite a lot, so she can almost sit back on herself. It's not like the spirit doll body where that has the best posability I've ever seen. But it has a good range of motion. If you wanted to sit on her knees, you can kind of get it. It might be a bit of fiddling around. So yeah, these are the feet. They are quite large feet for the size of the doll. I'm used to minifee feet, which are quite small, so these are quite thick. It has a good range of motion as well, and the feet enable her to stand really well. So she's one of my best standers, much like the Soul doll as well. That's one of the best standers. So yeah, the feet range of motion, that's all the way down, and that's sort of all the way up. You can't really go much further. So shoes aren't really that difficult to find because they fit in standard size MSD shoes, as opposed to the minifee, which are a lot smaller and are a little bit more difficult to find shoes for unless you have them tailored. So a quick run back up the back of the legs and the torso again. It's pretty lightly sculpted. It's not nothing overboard or anything. And I like how it has a one-piece torso, and then the bust is joined on the top. So looking at the arms, it has a little notch that you can see how it sits in place over the top there. It doesn't have like any caps or anything like the minifee does, so it's just a single joint, no peanuts or anything. The elbow joint has a peanut though, so it has a good range of motion. You can pose her up to her face and she sits there quite nicely. The hands, I've always thought the hands were very masculine for a female doll, and the little joint where the hands connect I've always found a bit strange, but I mean that it flows nicely and everything. I just thought it was a bit large for this particular doll, but other than that, the hands are nicely sculpted and really good quality, and the resin is also really good quality as well. One of the best resin qualities I've come across, and I have multiple dolls across multiple different companies, and Luts has a really nice smooth feel to it, which I quite like. It's like a nice buttery sort of feel. And like I said before, she stands like a trooper, one of the best standers. So you can see how I can just plop her down and she stands pretty well, as long as you position her legs properly, but you plop her down and she just stands. So I hope you enjoyed that and got a little bit of info about some different doll companies from Luts. You can find them at eluts.com, so definitely buy the real doll and support the artists who make these really cool dolls for us. Alright, so that's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any requests, you can leave it in the comments down below, and you can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!